SequencerTalk. Music Gear, Synthesizer und Musikproduktion. Und hier sind eure Gastgeber, der Mugulator und Dean Freud.
Hello, welcome to the SequencerTalk post Superbooth show. This is Dean and I am a Mogulator, or Mick, just call me as you like it. We will now today talk about everything on Superbooth and we'll introduce a lot of good people and friends to talk to.
Exactly. We invited some friends and we will start with Tom, our usual suspect.
Hello.
Hey, good Tom.
Just landed from Berlin. Literally 1 hour.
Okay, that's crazy. And then we have Robin Vincent, Multi-Music Technology.
Hello. How are we doing? It's great to be here.
You're welcome.
Did you felt good in Berlin, or do you prefer your little shed in the UK?
Well, they do let me out from time to time, and it's nice to land somewhere else. I think for a bit, it's a good place. It's rejuvenating in some ways. It's exhausting, undoubtedly, but there's something about that show that I think reinvigorates. There's something about the connections, something about the vibe that just makes you think, yeah, this is a nice bunch, doing nice things. Yay, that kind of. That kind of thing. It fades quite quickly once you're home, but for a little while there, it feels like we're all doing the right thing with our lives.
Yeah, and then we have the next one, live from Vienna.
Hi everybody, thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm still struggling with the like having spent too much time in Berlin. I'm still super tired and I have a sore throat and all that things.
I saw you dancing.
Oh, you saw me dancing? I was more or less dancing every day. So where and when did you see me dancing?
People from Vienna always dance.
Of course.
To something.
Yeah.
So be welcome. Sometimes we may call everyone at their real names, but I think most of you may know who we are. But we'll list everyone, and there's the windows. So next,
we have Frederico.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
You still in Berlin?
I am, I guess, the lucky one that didn't have to move around the world, the globe, to get to Superbooth. But nonetheless, I'm tired as well. I guess that's the age, not the Superbooth. But yeah, I'm lucky. I had to just take a train from the Fez to be home.
And we also have Gaz Williams.
Yes! And I'm ready for the next show. Bring it on. Come on. I can't wait. I've still got the energy.
Ready to rumble.
Come on. When's the next one?
Here is Gaz.
You see the reason why I didn't get home at night. Because you can't go home when this guy's around.
Yeah.
Guys, what's your feeling about returning and leaving the Korg collective, so to say?
It is amazing to be amongst such wonderful, like-minded people, and especially in this topsy-turvy world with all the chaos going on, we're amongst our, international tribe coming together, and to spend that time is just truly mind-blowing. I am I'm really bouncing on it now. I got up early today. I got back late last night. We went to the, you might have to help me with this, Klunkerkranich. Sorry, Klunkerkranich, which is the most Berlin thing you can possibly imagine. It's the kind of, it's like a nightclub on the rooftop, open air rooftop of a multi-story car park. And there was an amazing event going on there yesterday. I saw you were there, Tom. Did you stay late there?
I went at 9 p.m.
So I had to leave this party, and everybody was turning up, and I saw, good friends Heinbach and Cuckoo, and many people were, it was just the last thing, and I had to leave to go and catch the plane, and that was difficult. But the weather was lovely, and on this rooftop, you can see for miles and miles and miles. And there was loads of makers, lots of DIY going on. There were some brilliant gigs. Cuckoo was just about to start, and I had to leave. So that was a shame. It felt like, I want to stay. Next year, I'm going to definitely come back Monday, because that's a really great event. I think it's the Berlin Modular
Society.
Berlin Modular Society, yeah, great, who organize it.
He had a great set, Cuckoo, and after François of Chakmat had also a fantastic set.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, truly is a really special thing. And, with all of the stuff from, the man who must not be named and all this kind of potential chaos that it will bring to our industry, there was this feeling of just like, we're just doing it anyway. And I talked to many Americans, and they were all, there's the kind of fear a little bit, but when you're there, the fear all kind of went away. It's almost like, we'll overcome this. And the feeling of togetherness was superb. So that gave me confidence.
Yes. We went on Wednesday to the makers meeting, and
we met you, and
and there was this exact feeling that you described. The people are ready to don't give up, and they want to share their work. They want to tell the people we're not giving up on completely crazy prices down or low. And we still have some great ideas after all these years, and we still develop great stuff. And we saw some really, really great stuff when you asked me. But what is your opinion, Federico? Did you found something very interesting?
It's hard to say. It's hard to have a pick because I don't know you guys, but for me it's a bit complex in Superbooth to actually have a hold on instrument, like try them and I have a feeling if they could work for my workflow or workflow in general. But to me, it's always like meeting the market makers that make my day. So I don't have really anything this year that one single pick. But I enjoy too the fact that I know working with many companies that a lot of people are struggling, and I felt to this sort of resilience in a lot of small makers. Somehow this is my fourth Superbooth, and vibe-wise, I think was the best so far, and there was a lot of good vibes and optimism. And to be honest, I hang out with a lot of Italians maker, and being Italian, I am very glad to see that there's a lot of company that are pushing pushing their boundaries. For example, like I was surprised that Frap Tools came out with a beautiful keyboard, which for them was a big undertaking, considering they come from modules, and like this is a huge thing and sounds great and it's beautiful. There was that Uranograph from Clank. This is the Magnolia. Make me wish that I know how to play the keyboard to justify having one. I had fun with the Uranograph. That is that sort of weird live instrument that reminds me a bit of a lyra. That one, that seems out of a Alien movie. And these kind of things always surprise me, because now that I'm a bit involved in the development of instrument, I work with Oxy recently, and I know what is the undertaking to create this kind of stuff, especially when original like this. I'm surprised, positively surprised. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy spending time also understanding why you would do something like that, because it's quite of a weird thing, and I like, are you gonna sell it? Who knows? But I'm proud for them that they managed to do it and go.
Actually, I missed it. I really wanted to try it out, but I didn't get the time.
I tried it at the last hour you can try, and he was really, really friendly, showing me that. And it's really different from the Lyra. It's really completely different approach, even if it looks like it could be some Lyra kind of thing, because there is arpeggiator, there's a resonator, and it's really different. It's not as industrial. It's
When you say in Lyra, do you mean the Terra though, the Soma Terra?
Exactly.
No, actually, I was meaning the Lyra for the kind of electromagnetic. What is the name of those things you put your fingers in?
Got you. When you put
and also basically you can assign to those lower, how you call it, keys, dots, whatever. You can assign different notes. In this case, you can quantize and you can save scales. So somehow you can prepare your the concept behind, to me, is similar to Lyra in the way that Lyra you prepare your 8 voices for your performances, or at least that's what I do. And in this case, you prepare your, how many they are, 3, 6, 12 notes for a performance. But here you have the benefit that you can switch presets, so you can have multiple scales, multiple thing. Yeah. And then there's way more possibilities. A looper that can layer sound. It is a pretty interesting take on ambient weird.
It feels pretty well made already. From the knobs feels very, very good, and also the touch elements. And from the sounds, it's definitely not the same thing as Soma.
No.
I thought it sounds a little bit thin from the videos I heard. Can you reply to that?
I think it's not really. Yeah. Go on.
I think it's an additive synthesis, right? So it can get very West Coasty in a piercing way, and during the demo it could feel a bit harsh, but it's all about feeding in that filter and layering on the. It was very fun to layer different parts. Each button can have also different sounds somehow. Now don't remember precisely, but I managed to get something ambientish and pretty kind of the soundscape that I would go with the Lyra. That's why I kind of put them in a same sort of world.
Can it be that it was inspired by the harp Spock is playing in Star Trek, like the original series? I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I mean, synth makers usually watch Star Trek, so that might be the case.
Could be, but it's formed differently.
Don't start with Star Trek with Mick. Don't.
It's true. I started with the Core Collective, which is actually the Borg Collective. Yeah, it could be, because it is always everything is influenced by Star Trek. I think it is some kind of scientific vision.
Guess or Robin, do you had the chance to try it out?
No, not this one. Not this one. Sadly, not.
No.
Although I did get, for the first time, I actually got to play on some Soma gear, because that stand is always full. And there was a moment where there was a spare seat, so I got to play a Terra. Probably only 2 years too late, but it's definitely a beautiful instrument. And so that was actually a highlight. It wasn't new, but it was good to me.
Did you have your hands on the mentioned Frap Tools, because we were mentioning, and I think it was the thing everyone was talking about.
It was hard to get close to it. I had a look through the window. It looked very nice.
Same with me. I watched it through the window.
Is
I got a demo.
through Zero and stuff like that, analog, but it's basically made of their modules. I was really surprised by it.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? We see strange movements between, software companies starting to make modules, modular makers starting to make pedals. So seeing a modular maker making a full-size keyboard and bringing quite modular type of, things like Through Zero, FM, is much more something that you'd associate with the modular world rather than the synth, the more traditional synth world. So I think this is a really smart move.
I was I just asked him the company, they are lovely people, and they showed me this one, the how much is on it, and this is a voice card.
PCB for the
It's
voice
crazy.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's
and
8 of those, right? In
Yeah.
each,
yeah.
This looks like something Yomox would do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here's where you put the jumpers or solder this point on, and so it will react to this voice. So that's how they maintain it. So it's easy to replace one in the future.
And it
And I think it's really well layouted. It's only this side. It's not.
and it
On this other side is just
made in Italy entirely.
yeah, yeah.
Respect.
I think this.
Even the PCB, everything is Italy.
There was a trend, wasn't there? I mean, there's various companies moving manufacturing from China to Poland. I heard that a few times. So I wonder.
Lettony, or how it's called in English, Latvia.
Latvia.
Yeah. Many in Latvia, because there's Erika Sinden and how's called other guys, Alpha, who is producing synths for other companies.
There's an interesting story that Gertz from Erica told me a few years ago. I was saying to him, how come your shitty little country, it's some backwater country, is kicking the ass off us with our musical heritage? How can you do this? How are you making much cooler things than us? I was joking, of course. But he said during the Soviet Union era that the various countries would specialize in various things. I think either Lithuania or Estonia was a lot of textile industry. But in the Soviet Union, during the Soviet Union, Latvia was the place where electronics were developed. So there's like a long history during that period that took place in Latvia. And that's what Gertz was saying, that he thinks that is why it's a good place, Latvia, for the manufacturing of electronics. So it was an interesting view that I hadn't heard anywhere before.
But I think many people misunderstood the concept of the synth a bit. It was announced as 8-voice FM analog FM synth, but it's a complex Buchla style polysynth.
Yeah.
So many people thought, okay, where are the operators and where are the? I think people thought it's only an analog synth with FM a bit, and it's a complete different story.
I think
It's based on the brand, so no, it's like based on
a modified Brenzo with a modified what's called Kunza, and everything they have in their portfolio in one polysynth.
I think they just confused to tell them it's linear FM, and so you can control it much better. But everyone knows, and everyone came up to it. But it doesn't have fast LFOs. I'm really, really, really hard on them. Begging for faster LFOs.
I heard that was just in the prototype stage, and the LFOs are going to be much faster when it's complete, so hopefully.
But it sounded good in a different way. I compared to anything, because even when, or exactly when you unison one or two or three voices, most of the synth sound a bit the same or too much, too big or too fat. But this one really sounded really good. I think that is a special thing. The only synth I felt like this was the Melbourne Nina. So everyone, yeah.
I loved it too. I overlooked that synth for 2 years, I guess. What was last year, 2 year? And who was David from Melbourne? Just grabbed me and give me a full demo of the new sequencer and the multi-timbrality and the power that it has, and teach me how that magnetic system work. And I was pretty blown away. It's a great synth and there's a lot of capability in sound territories and also in performability.
Mick did also a complete rundown of the synth some months ago, and I was pretty
think it's
blown
nice.
away because I thought it's more the gimmicky thing with the motor
Same.
coaties and stuff, and the demos first were so lukewarm, to say. But I have a guest said something. How can it be that all the younger and more foreigner brands are nowadays so strong and so competitive with the developing nowadays? If you look to Yamaha or to Roland or even Electron, it seems they got stuck in their own way. But when you look at Frap Tools, when you look at the Tempera has now the poly aftertouch on their pads, and this is completely
They
crazy.
did that by software. How on earth could they do that? It's really
No, I,
I know.
I asked him. It's the touch interface he developed and patented. This thing can handle poly aftertouch, but it wasn't implemented in the first firmware updates. So
Exactly.
it was possible, but not yet ready for the release, the official 1.0 release.
Yeah, I did sounds for the Tempera, and I was one of the first owners of these units, and the plan was there, and it's crazy to see what they crammed in this device nowadays. It has granular live looping nowadays and some other stuff that's really, really good, and it's pretty hands-on, and you have so to say a complete free space to work with it. You can do with the drums and use it as a normal synthesizer. It becomes more and more powerful. It's crazy to see. And then you see other brands that got completely stuck in their heritage, so to say, and got even bankrupt, and they still do the same thing. So, guys, what is your opinion on the Modal synth that now costs the normal version? I think nowadays
It's more,
€1,000.
yeah. It's way more.
There is plenty of space for walkers. That's cool. I like that. I think you can even fit a pizza there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a feature, not a bug, I think.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing like the last two ones. It's always the same thing with a different engine. And now it costs 1,000 instead of, I think, what was €600?
This
The
one,
normal,
no, 1,000.
the normal version.
This is the
800. The new, this new one, the Carbon 8 normal is 9,090, I think, or something like this. Yeah,
Yeah, the X version. I speak from the smaller
it's
ones.
way more. The smaller one is 1,090, and the other one I think is 1,400 or something like this. Yeah.
and the argon and the carbon was I think 600 or 500
Yeah.
euros. So it's
I bought
crazy.
my for 400.
The Argon 8M is 600, close to 600, and the normal Argon 8 is like 700.
Mm.
They did have a go with modular though.
Hmm.
Back in 22, I think it was the Filton.
The filter. A filter.
Yeah.
No,
filter.
this thing is put in the trash.
Yeah.
They will never
It's a-
release this.
Sure. But they gave it what I'm saying is they gave it a go. So they're not just a one-trick pony necessarily.
I was gutted that didn't come out because
Yeah.
they were Modal were a Bristol-based
Yeah.
company. They're not anymore. And Filton is the next village town to where I live. It's about 2, and so they named the filter after Filton. And I was gutted that it didn't come out on a purely civic pride level, you know.
Yeah. But they went Kickstarter, which was I don't know. I'm not sure that's ever been a good.
Yes, it has been good.
decision.
It has been good
Yeah.
because I believe the Oxy One was a Kickstarter. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? Because I mean, they were, but Modal were after like 50 grand
Yeah.
for a filter. That's a lot of filters to sell. You know, off a Kickstarter campaign.
Please,
For a brand that has already a big user base and complete contracts with resellers and all this stuff. So that was my thing of, I don't know.
Mm.
But I have my own story with them.
It's personal.
I should have very soon a long interview with Modal online on the website. It's in the works where I dig deeper what happens to the company and what's their plans and what and so on.
Sometimes when you walk around the Superbooth, something strange will be shown, and only on that show and never again. And one of that could be this one. It's a programmer for the montage.
wow.
M, the left one here on the left side. The whole block. This is for editing the VA part of it, and the other one here controls or set up. These are the 8 operators, and this display shows the no, not this. That will be coming next, but yeah. This is how it looks like. Yeah, here's the right one. And this is how an FS1R editor could look like as well. Of course, no one can buy it. But
Has FM ever been worth it? I mean, has it ever been worth it? All this trouble to get these squeaky, clangy sounds out of something that sounds a little bit like an electric piano or a bell from time to time. It seems like an awful lot of work.
Heresy.
I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, give me a Volker FM2 anytime.
I mean, that's the coolest.
Manny Fernandez, maybe, and I'm a big fan of FM, of course. So I really needed to show this. But I think it is really fun, but it never will make it to any kind of.
I mean, that's the coolest thing Yamaha made since the DX7. Definitely.
Exactly. Make me think why this company don't, instead of getting out with this incredibly weird project, just do another DX7 or CSA.
There is one by D-Tronics. They have a small, this size DX7 in a case. It's replacing the TX 816, which is has I think it's 8 TF1 modules with they are one module represents one DX7. So they did it, and they already have the programmer, which is a sort of a copy or deriving from the Yellinghaus one in Germany. They made one 25 of them, and you can still buy them. And here is something the other way around, controlling the Yamaha CS reface, and this is little Hans grabbing all these knobs and moving them around. I think it was really fun to see. Have a look at that. It's a real automation, and
It's like an LFO robot. I think they called it an LFO robot.
yeah, and there was this little thing below it, and that is actually sort of a sequencer controlling these hands, controlling the CS. But this is only just something I saw, and I would really, I love to show this. Yeah, next.
Did you guys see about weird but beautiful things? There was one fellow called Allard. I don't remember his brand, but he was showing this synth, but was called the Melancholytron. And basically, it was you buy the book and you got a synth for free, and was a synth that only does sad and melancholic sound. And there was all of this story behind, and like he did presets to accompany his book, and the story in the book, like the sound of social anxiety, stuff like that. And I found that one of the weird project that you see of Superbooth. I'm impressed that somebody get a booth to show that, but it was so charming and so fascinating. I really
But what cost this fucking book?
Yeah, I didn't ask. I'm sure I'm sure it was expensive, but I'm glad that somebody do things like that.
Yeah.
It's so
I
like
miss
a
it.
Mellotron recreation, because it really sounded melancholic all the time, and I think it's. I watched his Gesprächskonzert, his keynote, and I think it's sort of full of humor from the Netherlands. Maybe it's somewhere in his mind or something. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I have another one from Italy that's pretty crazy. I did a video on it. It will come out in, I think, 1 or 2 days. These guys are from Italian and pretty young, I thought. It looks like a gaming handheld. It
Game
is
Gear.
based- yeah, exactly. Sega Game Gear.
No, like an Atari Lynx, actually.
Or like that, yes. Something in this realm. And I thought this is pretty funny. The UI is completely crazy, but it worked as a prototype, and I gave them some feedback, and I did a little video on them. Did you saw these guys on the?
I think they didn't have a booth, right? They were
No, they didn't have a booth.
guerrilla marketing around.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wanted to, but a friend of mine got a prototype, Anna Z from the Z-Work, and Johannes, and they tried it, and they said it was really impressive. So we will see.
It's always good.
Where was the siren? Whose siren was that?
It's me. It's Berlin. It's Berlin.
Obviously a German one.
Can I say about my highlights? There's a few that I'd like to say about.
Yes, of course. That's why we are here.
And I have to start with the Oxy One Mark II, because for me, that is my favorite piece of music equipment in many years. And I was really pleased to able to try it, especially to explore the flow function. And I think this really is very groundbreaking. And it just happens that the man whose idea it was is sitting here too. So this is very cool indeed. And I think in the last sort of 4 or 5 months since I've had my Oxy One, I feel that's best piece of music technology that I've had my hands on in 4 or 5 years, and in some ways maybe ever, because it's a device that opens up beautiful harmonic music, or gnarly, nasty music, whatever you want to do. But I'm very interested in harmony, and progressions is something that I'm motivated in. If someone was to say to me at Superbooth, like that there's this amazing filter that you've got to hear, I'd be less likely to go there than someone saying, oh, you've got to see this thing, it creates fantastic chords. That's more my what I'm interested in, and I think the Oxy One. So I have the Mark One, and it has, as I'm sure everyone knows now about it, and the Mark One has the 4 main tracks. You can turn that into a multi-track, so you could make it 32 tracks. But really, the 4 tracks, and now going to 8 tracks is superb. I think 8 is always the right. I think it's the sweet spot for things like sequencing. And it's just a really clever upgrade. I believe that when it first launched, the Mark One, the feature set grew and grew and grew and grew over the years. So the new one represents this growth in a very clever way, because it doesn't really change or break anything that made the first one so good. The flow function, I mean, you can kind of think of the flow function as like a fill, like a drum machine fill, or if you think of an electron device where you assign certain steps to only activate when you press the fill button. It's a little like that, but you can create it. Well, when you press it, it's kind of across all tracks. You can make all the tracks just do all sorts of things. So, for instance, you could have interesting harmony events that happen when you engage the flow function. So, changing the name from fill to flow, I think, is a clever idea, because it's more than fill. It's it really is quite a new thing, and really exciting. Again, very, very focused on music. Sometimes some of these things are more focused on sound. So things which are focused on music is the kind of stuff that gets me really excited. There are some wonderful videos as done by my good friend here to explain this further. But being able to get hands-on was really good. I kind of understood it more then. So I think it's definitely something worth trying. But yes, fantastic, really, really good. I know lots of people are aware of this product now. It's not, like super news, but I mean, it still is news for sure. But yeah, I think is still the thing that is the most exciting for me. Again,
Are you using that harmonic page or access much? Because that is something that there are really different approaches, like in the Hapax or in other sequences. But this one is special. I found it really interesting. Is it? Because you are coming from real playing. Yeah.
So I think I love this idea where you program some sequences in, and you set those sequences to harmonize to one track, like a poly track, and then in a poly track, have it empty, no notes, and then press a generate a pattern, and you can control the pattern that you generate. You can have it very minimal pattern or very dense pattern, notes far apart, notes very close, and you can save the generation settings in individual patterns. So no notes in the patterns, but just generative information. So if you choose a pattern, it doesn't bring in notes, but the generator is set up differently. And then you have your same sequences, you generate a new pattern, and then the harmony goes somewhere, and your notes which are playing harmonize to this new pattern that you've just generated. And then if it's good, you know, you can maybe save that and move on, or you can undo and go back, and you can use the undo redo thing as a musical thing. But I mean, I've been doing this with the Oxy One Mark I, so this has been
How
one.
do you all like generated or generative
Wait a
music?
second.
Can I would like to add something. I wasn't going to talk about Oxy One Mark II because it would feel a bit biased because I had the chance to be a endorser since day one, and I was completely happy with Mark I, and then they bring me in for the development of Mark II. So I work on that for the past 6 months, and few ideas inside there. I generated too, and so it's part. I consider it my baby too. And I read in the comment somebody was mentioning about generation and generative things, which, if you know what I do and what I stand for, I don't really like a full generative system or full generative tools. I always think that the best is when you can have a dialogue with the machine. When you input something, maybe the machine help you develop an idea. And what I really wanted to push with Oxy Mark II, and then we all as a team push, was this concept to have a tool that actually helps you but doesn't do the work for you. So all of this generative tool allows you to have a huge amount of control. Then you can also go completely random and go for the happy accident, but I believe never more than this precise moment. It's very important to have tools that allow you to create and not let the machine, AI, or whatever create for you. So this is like whatever things we put that, the performance page, the generative page, the feel page, it came out so good that even as we didn't expect. Now it's very organic how all the things move together and allow you to actually, I think it's way more a performance tool than it was before. So it's become more of a performance rather than just a writing tool. And that's it. I won't say anything else, otherwise it will feel I am
but I have
pushing
a
too
question.
much. So sure.
Is it possible now to do more volts than?
Yes. Now you can set to 10 volt. In fact, I need it for the Verbos system back there. So
it's a good thing here. We can also throw in some questions and markings from our live chat here. And a little short one. If you're eager to participate in our live stream after chat, we can show you that. So you have to go on SequencerTalk.synthesizers.de, and you can find this wonderful page here. This is our steady page. It's like Patreon, and you can become a member. And after the talk, we will do a little video chat with our friends here and everybody who is a supporter. So if you like, you can join in as little as €3, and you can pay monthly, and you can stop it, or you do it annually for a year. We have different goals you can choose, and we also have sometimes little goodies like special talks or sound sets and stuff. So if you want to join our community, please feel free and check the site out. We will post a link now in the live chat, and you will find everything in the info box right below the video. And we also do Spotify. You can even watch us on Spotify. So give it a try. It's a way to help this little chat flourishing and keeps it alive. So enough housekeeping. We saw the Oxy 2, and I think when will come the new MIDI box and the new electronics sequence. I know MIDI Box is doing something some months back, and I hope this will come out and it will be much more available. Then I think the MIDI Box sec is by far the most advanced sequencer and the most stable. I have an old one. It's crazy.
Ah.
Do you know them?
But
Yes.
what did you all see and really enjoy? Maybe just throw it in if you like, because I think it's better than to do everything else.
I enjoyed playing on the Artemis. That was the first time I having a go on that. It was a really nice.
Good.
Yeah, just it's so soft and warm. It was a big sort of hug of a synthesizer. It wasn't trying to do anything particularly clever, but it just sounded good, patch after patch, twiddle after twiddle, which is can't ask for much more than that, really. It doesn't have to be masses of innovation. It can just sound nice, and it did.
I had some minutes to touch it. I just feel the same. I think this Dreadbox have a good hand for really good synth that are really usable, and the prices are really okay. I don't know how they do it, but I just have to second that. Yeah. Anyone else?
The new Bella is amazing. I can't remember what it's called actually. So Bella have the Gliss module, which is like a 4U.
Oh yeah,
That's been around for a few years, and I've got one in my live rig, and is extremely responsive. And now the new one is like
it's fantastic.
4-channel. I think this is the big. I think it's the big hit of the show. Many people I've talked to said it's their pick of the show. So yeah, it's very much a module, but it has a like a kind of chaos pad type thing.
It's also standalone, Gas. They output MIDI.
I missed that bit. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They have MIDI out.
Completely missed the thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. See, I knew
it's
it's
the Gliss. You know the Gliss, the blade, this touch strip that you can record from that you can record with the LFOs, and this in big, but in X and Y, and you can record paths on the. You can record paths on it, and it's really brilliant.
This is a small one.
That's the small
I know this one, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what makes that one there that's already out special is the processing is very high. So the sensitivity, I think it scans at something. Robin, what are you doing? I know, 2.6 megahertz. So it's like really sensitive. It's like, we're so used to like maybe the MIDI 128 values, but it's super sensitive and it's really responsive. So that's what makes the original so good. And now when you take that kind of sensitivity and move it into this 4-channel, you have 4 CV ins and then you have 4 CV outs, and you can make gestures, record gestures for
and recall them,
and you can like do things where you rotate the outputs, so these gestures then can rotate out of the outputs, and that's similar to the new Enjoy Electronics LFO, which is called the Elfo. Yeah, and beautiful as all of their equipment.
And again, an Italian company.
Another Italian, yeah.
Those two guys, Angelo and Luca, are the best. Like,
they're so good.
I love them to bits. Like,
yeah. But that has a similar thing in that you have 4 CV and 4 CV outputs, but the graphics, it comes up like a crystal, and then it'll kind of change the routing. And I think that's quite worth mentioning, because it seems like a little trend at the moment for this kind of thing. One of the new Make Noise modules is called the Jumbler. Again, does a similar thing where your inputs can jumble out to the outputs. So often interesting to see what is, if there are any kind of zeitgeisty kind of trends, and this seems to be one. But just
Dean, you need a photo?
of the
If you have a link, or you can share your screen.
I can send you instantly a photo if you want.
Yeah, give it to me.
1 second.
You can send it in the private chat.
Oh no, I have on Messenger. If you can.
I made a short video, actually. I can share that. It's not a very well filmed one, but I can try.
You see, this is all live, and we try to adjust as we go.
You have a video, it's not even better. I have made also a video, but it's not edited yet.
I mean, my video is just really, really rubbish, but it might give a little indication.
Be careful not to show the wrong video now.
Maybe you're right. It could go very, very embarrassingly wrong.
Yeah, Week in Berlin can do that to you.
Have I got one?
I mean, that's the reason why they put like stickers on the smartphone cameras in Berlin.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
I know. And unfortunately, when Heinbach was playing in Berghain, unfortunately, he fell off the stage.
No.
Guys, I have a great story about that.
Okay.
And like poor Heimbach, I'm sorry, but if you were there, I was leaning on the stage, right, looking at him. I was right there. So he was placing the tape, with his what's the name, the stand, and he saw me, and I say, "Hey!" So we shake hand, and while he was turning, he didn't see there was the speaker, and then he fall, and I felt a bit responsible for that.
Oh!
So I was really sorry, because he fell down really, really bad, and I was like, how do you recollect from that? But he was like, boom, up there and play an amazing show, and it was great.
Poor guy.
But nobody could film it, you see.
That's true.
Okay, here.
Maybe it was the Berghain medication. I don't know.
I don't know what you did, Florian.
That night at Berghain, there was another beautiful things that as a Berliner, and I go to Berghain quite often, and it was to see the people, I think the regular that come to Berghain, that were dressed for a Berghain night, like a club night, and like basically almost naked, and then they end up in this ambient, weird, like experimental night, and they were kind of, I don't know, bored. I don't know what to say, but it was fun to see the mixture between synth people and the Berghain regulars.
Let's talk about the dark hours of Berlin, or the dirty hours.
No,
it's more fun than the gear.
To be honest, this year was pretty tame for me. Usually, the last 2 years I got completely wasted with Paul from PWM.
Oh, yes.
He's the source of so many nights like that, I think.
Holy shit.
But there were some kind of parties like in the Waldkater.
Tune Girl.
Fantastic.
We had Italo Rotalo performing like this, so it looks a little bit like performing like nightlife kind of thing. Okay, just to show you how it looks like this. Yeah, there's even more. There's so much.
Give me a second. I have this.
Okay.
Thing, but
I hope you don't search to show the Bela.
No.
Already gone.
Everything is fine, but Tom sent me the right one, and I have to adjust.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and there's also
There it
photos.
is. There it is. Yeah.
What a birth!
Oh wow!
It's so lovely.
Yeah.
But
don't. This one is also great. But
Blinky.
Mensch.
Blinky. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the right one.
the touch the touch strip is not the same as on the regular one. It's just for some operation stuff. It's not to record. You can record this touch strip under the big one. It's not
Okay.
fully functional like the regular one.
I don't think they told me it wasn't implemented yet, the
Yeah.
functionality of that.
But it's not the same as the module.
What's the name of it?
Each, oh gosh,
Tindril, Trill.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the name. But what you can see there on the right-hand side, the outputs, you have 3 outputs per out of the 4 channels. So you have like a CV, gate, and modulation. Can you remember, Tom, what the 3 outputs on the side are?
There's CV or a clock. You have clock. You have 4 CV in, CV out, I think.
The X, Y, and pressure, wouldn't it, Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, you're right. It's X, Y, and gate for each of the 4 channels.
And you can send out MIDI. You can out a CV and gate, and you can also make notes. So you can also sequence the stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not only for parameters, but also for notes.
It's so sensitive and responsive. You have to try it to really appreciate it. Really.
And they plan to release this as a standalone box as well.
It looks like a really fancy Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it also serves the same purpose, maybe.
There was another amazing thing that wasn't quite ready yet that is called the Echon 6 from Mofor. And this was really special. And I mean, it's a premium instrument. I think it will sell for maybe €2,000. It's a 6-voice, BBD synthesizer.
The Reason 6.
Oh, sorry, Reason 6, not Echon 6. Okay, Reason 6.
Oh, Echon. Echon. It's Echon 6, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, it is Echon 6.
Yeah.
Yes, I was right. Sorry. So you have 6 exciters and then 6 resonators. So it's all analog. The build quality, I mean, this was the prototype, but feels very, very good. It's a premium instrument. But the modulation, the way you set up modulations is great. You just, whatever you want to modulate, you hold it, change, hold the parameter, twist the parameter you want to modulate it with. Really easy. Beautiful and very different. The architecture very different. So great to see something like a synthesizer, a poly synthesizer, a poly analog synthesizer that's not using either East Coast or West Coast sort of subtractive approaches. I think it's one to watch. It was early. Some of the demos, it's in the early days. It does sound beautiful, but there's a lot more to come from that. Hopefully, they think it will be ready for Machina Bristronica in Bristol that everyone should come to, because it's the next best thing to Superbooth. It's the biggest show we have in the UK. It's in its 4th year now, and is it's in September, end of September. Lots of manufacturers I talk to are going to be coming to it. So, and it's also 1 kilometer from my house. Yes!
But it's but the Echon is very much this in analog.
Okay.
Because it's delay based, it's physical modeling. It's
so you're holding up the stream pipe from Erica.
On the pipe, yeah, stream pipe.
You have to tell them.
it's like this one in analog, but a bit more
similar principle, yeah.
But just with BBDs, because I think the Erica is more on delay feedbacks.
There are several questions about what a BBD synth is actually, and maybe someone can explain it a bit. Bucket brigade delay.
Yeah.
They told me that basically the bucket brigade delay can resonate, is feed in a certain way the sound, and so it's sort of going car plus. But in this case, what they added to the idea of the 6 bucket brigade is like, what if we feed the noise or a wave? So on top of this sort of resonation and car plus, you have a wave that I don't remember if it can
Exciter.
be, and it can also be used as a wave normal, so it can sound probably more as a subtractive synth if you want. But yeah, I find it too. I tried it. They give me a nice demo, and I find it very, very interesting. And especially the modulation system was super hands-on and straightforward.
What I find very interesting is that they added individual outputs on the voices.
Oh, true. That's a good idea too.
Yeah.
And speaking of very expensive stuff and
what we like,
much not so necessary. It's guys, what do you think about PPG? The new PPG.
The old new.
There are
with
several names
unobtainium
Germany.
side panels.
There's several names around we call and what PPG stands for. But what is your opinion, even if you don't have seen it?
Or the money.
The money is crazy. They've seen the second-hand prices of the 80s PPG, and they want a slice of that money.
You know the original one was more expensive than this one.
In its day.
Yeah.
In its day.
In its days, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is 10K, right?
10K.
Yeah.
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 10,000 euros.
Or marketing speech 99999.
Okay.
I mean,
the rest is change.
It does sound good. I feel that the price is because they want to keep it very premium.
Yeah.
And
it had to do that they don't have the capacities. I think, and Mick also know it. They developed, they manufactured in Portugal by one guy, and it's our friends Ingmar Koch's Liquid Sky Artist Collective's project with Wolfgang Palm and Cornel Hecht's projects.
Yeah,
and
but
they can't produce a lot of units, and they don't want it, so they want to be
is it
overrun.
actually a good choice because it can't do much like FM sync stuff like that? It sounds good, but you have to be a fan of it, sort of.
I'm a big fan, and you need really deep pockets. So, is it really necessary? And
there's market for it.
And if you think a real mini Moog is expensive, this is a complete different thing.
The Geddy Lee one. The red one.
Oh, I want that!
I'm not really familiar with that guy, and I really checked out this music of Rush. I wasn't aware. I think they are more common in America or something.
No,
really crazy stuff. Maybe I'm too young in this case.
No, I hear Rush, so
okay. Maybe it's my ignorance. Maybe.
Geddy Lee is like the bass player's hero. He's the greatest rock bass player, really. So, but he was also able, like as Rush, as a three-piece band in the 1970s, they were they started off a bit like a Led Zeppelin clone, but they were really into English progressive rock of the early 70s. So they started to go more kind of prog rock, and because they wanted to stay as a three-piece, then they tried to expand their sound by bringing in synthesizers. So Geddy would be playing the bass guitar, and then he'd go and play some mini Moog, and use Taurus pedals to keep the bottom in as he'd be playing melody lines. He'd be singing, playing synthesizer, playing foot pedals, going to the bass guitar and being a badass bass guitarist. And of course, the one of the signature songs of Rush is Tom Sawyer, and the wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo woo. For many, many people, is probably the most iconic Minimo kind of sound, really. And of course, that same song starts with the OBXA. So I think Rush are really, important band for kind of bringing synthesizer sound and texture into hard rock in a way that I think is still kind of really, really important in the
Take your guess.
things.
So it ended up in things like Europe's final countdown. I think that is very unfair to say, but
that song's amazing.
But I need something to make any gag I can push out to everyone. There's one thing. It's a German company in this case. I'd like to show in a second, because I think this kicked a lot of people and me too because there's one idea that never has been made by anybody.
Say no further. I have it here.
Yeah, okay, that's better. It's called the Vermona Drum Ding, which is the drum thing, and it can sample the top row.
So brilliant.
Sort of an analog monophonic synth that can do everything, like the DRM. But you can sample it without listening to it. So you can just make this gesture, and you have this sample in itself. So there's 6 pads, tracks, instruments, and you can create them while you are playing.
Amazing.
I really love that approach, because it's so fast.
The question I had, why is there not early on already a product that doing this? We only have stuff like analog drums or analog drum engines with sequencing or samples with sequencing, but this idea, I don't know any company is doing this before.
This is great.
Okay. Some people say to me, okay, why are you having an analog drum that I sample to digital than for sequencing? I think it's more the haptic feeling that you program it in real time and then you sample it.
Yeah. I've got the DRM Mark III Vermona, and it's superb, but there's no modulation on there, and you get these brilliant sounds, and then you go, the kick can do all this really cool thing, and then the snare can do all this really cool thing, and then and then you realize that you've only got a few hands, and then you get the foot in doing it in, and then so yeah, this is why this exists.
Someone posts in here drum log, different kind of way. But the drum log cannot sample itself that fast. And I think
not
that
possible,
is
no.
unique to any instruments I've ever seen. We interviewed another German new company, Beatboxer. They made something that is for starting with an empty machine. So you have to load in some samples and then start. But it's really unique in a way. But I think this option with Vermona it's easier maybe to have something that is already there you can sample from. And
if you are interested, sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
Also a video on the Drum Ding and on the Beatbox Mosaic.
I ask in my video, is there an English version coming soon? A drum thing? he took it seriously and say no, they want to keep it to drum ding because it's ding is a good thing
Maybe
in
they
English
can
too.
create a drum ding dong then.
I wanted to add on this, like for simple minds like mine, and that I'm a big diehard fan of Vermona, even though they never recognize me every single time I go to their booth. I live with that the performer, like, and I always have to introduce myself, and I think that what I love on the Vermona or the Mini Moog or this stuff is like basically it's a machine that doesn't have preset, and you always have to come up with a sound. And I don't know if I have like limit in my brain, but every time that I use machine that have a lot of sound, I don't know, make me feel anxious not knowing where those sound originates. I cannot play with sample. And the idea that every time I can turn on this one and create very fast, because the workflow was really, really simple and straightforward, it got me very comfortable and excited. So I think it's a brilliant idea. I don't understand only one thing, is like these two color panels that really hit my head with a slap, very, very strong. And yeah, aesthetically, I have hard time watching at this thing.
I do love the buttons though a lot.
True,
These
the
buttons are
plastic
fantastic.
things.
It's like
Amazing.
the original 80s Akai buttons from the
Agreed.
DD1000.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's the mix of yellow wood, the white panel, and the black. It's too much for me still, my simple mind. But in itself, it's something that definitely I want. Probably could be a drum machine that really fits my.
But it's just a prototype.
But it's okay.
There's a lot of work in there, and as I spoke with Thomas, he sadly wasn't there on this day or at the Superbooth. I was pretty not even eager, amazed, to be honest. As he said, they build a Groovebox.
Same, yeah, true.
What the hell?
But it's a drum machine. It's not a Groovebox.
Yeah, but he said they will build a
as
Groovebox.
As we did videos, we both do videos on it, Dean and Mogulator. Did you ask them if it's possible to sample in other stuff than analog voice?
Yes, of course. Of course you can do. You can put. Of course you can import sounds by.
But is there a possibility also to use the same feature for other sounds? So if you have an audio
this
input.
wasn't completely clear.
Yeah, that
exactly.
Yeah,
you can load in via card or something, but
you can save your drums, your samples from the analog voice on the card. That he said to me.
You can also save any sound to the card and load from it. They have a file system that is just reading all the stuff, and he told us that there will be a tool that can strip all the sounds from one what's it called, a project. To be exported somewhere. I think they will do it in the second firmware or something, because they have to bring it out and then, yeah.
I trust Vermona. They are so rock solid, made in Germany things, and they know how to make great things.
If you're talking drum machines, so our groove boxes, we should talk about the Bento Box from 1010.
Yeah, of course.
Give me a second before we do that. I have another one to show. What do you think about the Beatbox from the Mosaic from Beatbox?
I didn't see that.
It's
this. Okay. So
it's
someone clicked. This is a sampler, more or less, with a sequencer built around the housing, and
it's also more a drum machine, because it doesn't like the Vermona. They haven't implemented sort of pitch input yet, so it's more a drum machine
But
than
it's
sample-based one.
it's a drum sampler, but it's not a
Yeah.
drum machine because it doesn't have any synthesis in there.
Yeah,
They
but that's samples. Maybe something like an early MPC or something, which is also sample-based, but a drum machine. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah.
I saw some projects in the last years, and to be honest, I know one of the guys is a friend of yours, Mick. But this is one of the few occasions in the last year that I thought, no, this isn't a good product. It's not thought out, and it's.
I don't know. I watched a Sonic State video about it, and I did the presentation was horrible. To be honest, it was not good. It was not good, and that's why I was also not so impressed by the device. It's also a lot to do how the presentation is done.
I don't think about the presentation,
if you
because
ask him
presentation is
the right questions.
Mick, let me say this. It's not about the presentation. It's about what they thought about it. It's about the state of the product, and it's the whole thing in general. Because if you try to, the first thing I said to them when I looked at the product is, if you try to take this serious as a live product for being on the stage, make a day mode, because you can't see anything on that screen, and we are in a tent, and you can't see the steps on the sequencer, and it's completely. It's a nice idea, but there are several things that completely left out, and you don't have patterns you can save. You don't have real presets, so to speak, and they don't want that. They make that really, really clear. They want a blank canvas. What's okay, but for live performance, I don't know. I have really some strong feelings, as you see, about that.
Please, just drop in if you have any opinion.
Please.
There is a video out by us, so you can just watch it. So I don't want to say so much about it, because I think he said a lot of interesting stuff.
I need to watch it.
Interesting how it works. But what would you like to have if you have a machine that can be operated without anything loaded to it from scratch and stuff like that?
Robin, do you have any thoughts about that?
I would say lots of the buttons are very far away, and so I would worry about my arms, and the ergonomics of it basically are. I mean, it's interesting to look at, and it certainly takes the eye, but everything's just so far away.
It reminds me a bit of like a square version of that Zoom ARQ AR48.
You even remember that name? That's the ring one.
Yeah, it's like the ring shape, but like the square version, like literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
But it's more pricey. It's
I assume that
around 2,000 euros. They said.
Yeah. It's quite expensive, but this is these guys try to make another machine. Another approach is, of course, boutique. And they try to make it, and I really like the idea that they really love to make it. Like the Schmidt, I don't think I would ever go for a Schmidt, because it's not made for me, because LFOs are slow. It's made for Tangerine Dream kind of music, but in this case, it is a different approach, and they really even talk like that or speak like that, and so maybe I have to really ask more questions or different questions so he can answer that, because he's really more thinking about making music. Don't talk about features. Let's make music. That's his approach. So just yeah, I thought about gas in this kind of yeah, how it all works.
I think 2,000 euros is a bit much for
Yeah.
for
It's even more. It's even more, but yeah,
even more.
yeah, it's more.
Oh.
I don't want to trash things like that, but it's cool that they try new things. But sometimes you really have to consider not just your thoughts. You have to think about the musicians and the normal people.
Yeah, you have to start from a blank page, and you have to start with loading some samples, which is really quick, or recording something from the microphone. You can do that. So on the Electribe MX, I would do that the same. I already did. So here's a new sampler, because I think, Federico, did you mention that? Who was it?
No, not me.
It was Gaz.
Yes.
It
About
was
the
yes,
Bentos.
sorry. About the new 1010 Music one.
Yeah.
The sampler.
The big black box.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, this is like it's more than an iterative design from the black box, so much so it's not like a black box Mark II. It does deserve its new like a new title. I think what 1010 make really reliable products, I think, that are they're kind of no frills. I heard some people complain about the graphics being a little crude and the display, but the actual form factor is really nice. And 1010 have a good reputation for developing over, quite a long period of time. You get lots of updates. So I feel that you'll be, whatever's not right at the beginning, it will get good. They've got a good history on that. So I feel that this is kind of quite safe. What's the price point? I think is it about 800 euros? Is that right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it falls into,
It's a bit more.
is it?
It's more.
Without wet, you're right. It's
Okay.
I think 889 euros or something without the wet, and it's I think
1,049 euro at
Oh,
Tillman.
okay. That's a bit more than I thought it was going to be. But I mean, that falls into that kind of area. It's getting into electron sort of.
it's 1010 Music overall, and they were ever a little bit more pricey than you think. I was a product specialist for Tomaso, and they also distributed 1010 Music and Arturia, and I had early on the black box and the blue box and the little ones for a short brief of time. They had their problems, especially the blue box with the power thing and stuff. You get sometimes
You,
a
you
little
have,
bit.
yeah. You have to have good. You have to have a juicy supply. Yeah.
I hope it's sorted out nowadays. Yeah.
I'm using it on stage, the blue box, and it works. It simply works. It's small, and I like small things on stage.
I really love it. I have it over there, but yeah. And
But
what
this one
black box
is
did
bigger. What advantage could it be to make it taller?
This does have the lemon drop granular engine built into it.
Yeah. More voices.
Yeah.
You have the granular synthesis from the lemon drop. You have the possibilities of the blue box, more or less, and you have real MIDI in and out. You
An
have
I/O stereo
bridge.
out. Yeah.
Yes, and it's basically the blue box, the black box, and the lemon drop in one
What?
thing. And
So is
I
it
think
is it
the
actually a
rest will
mixer too?
also come.
There's a mixer. Yeah, it's also mixer. Yeah.
Yeah. The blue
But
box is
what do you think, guys, about the knobs on the top? I prefer to have the knobs under this display, just under that the knobs are over the display. I prefer it under the display because so you are always with your hands over the display, and that's
Good,
something I don't love.
Yeah, good
Sorry
points.
for being ill prepared, but is the screen touch?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Then it makes sense to have like the knobs above the screen because you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so-
On the
still, I
push,
prefer
it's
it.
the same on the push.
Yeah.
So I
The
think
good
it's
thing
more
is
like
you have
being used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Florian tries to say is if you have the touchscreen beneath the pods or knobs, you can reach with your fingers on the touch screen, and you have more space for the rest underneath it. And you can, so to say, do two things at one time. It is, yeah.
One good thing about this, though, is it is now shipping, isn't it? So it is something that was announced at Superbooth, but is ready, and people, distributors are getting it this week. So that's
Oh,
one.
that's fast. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
But how is it about performing with it? I think it is sort of really more of everything. So it's the pro. It could be called like a pro
Black Box Pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
black box or something. Do you agree?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah, I guess. I mean, it has the legacy of the black box for sure. And the black box was, and still is, but when the black box came out, it was that. I mean, I like the form factor of the black box and the blue box. I think it's really good. I wish that the lemon drop and the fireball and the razzmatazz and that I wish they had used that same chassis and form factor. I don't like the small nano box form; is just too toy-like, and it's
They're really small and hard to really perform with them because
Yeah.
they're
I
really
think-
small. Even though they have a touch, actually they have a touch screen
Yeah.
of that size, like a watch.
Yeah.
Watch size.
It's really responsive. The touchscreen, it's fast, and it's good in that way. But the form factor, I think they missed a trick with the lemon drop to make. As I say, if it had been in that same form factor as the blue box, I think it would have been a really big hit for them. If they could get it out at that kind of price. The nano boxes were overpriced. Really, well, it was expensive for them to make. But I think the price and the form factor just didn't match.
Exactly that. The razzmatazz completely drove me crazy because of this little screen. I love the sounds. Yes, you're completely right. The things sound completely good, but justifying 500, 600 euros or 400, what it was,
400,
for
yeah.
little plastic thing without an accu pack, without the batteries.
This feels good though. This bento, it feels built
right.
up quality. It's and it's such a powerful machine. I think I think this could be a success for them.
I think they learned a lot from the development from the other devices, and they put it in this unit.
Let's make a comparison like this. I can just it's just about the size. So it's hard to understand sometimes how big is this thing, and this is how it looks like compared to the black box. In this case, it's here on the top. below the new one, and here's well-known things like here's the push or something like the innovation ones and stuff like that. So it's I think it's a good format. You can add a sequencer to perform. It has a sequencer, but I think it's only something like what's it called, the piano roll one. So I don't think maybe are you using piano roll sequencers on stage? I don't know.
Oxy One, you can do it. It's very
Yeah.
good for that. I do on the Oxy One. I just go on the piano roll and then have everything harmonized to that.
How do you deal with the Oxy or other matrix sequences, because they have 8 rows and we have 12 tones, and if there's some note below or something in 1 octave or 2 above,
No,
I think it's
you
hard to
only
find.
use one scale, C minor. That's it. You need just 7 tones. That's it. The other stuff, you don't need it. Come on.
All hate to the scales.
We always stick to D minor always.
D, okay, D minor.
What are scales? I make just drones.
Okay, so it doesn't
But
matter.
speaking of enough buttons and enough space for every tones, what do you think about the Relic, the hybrid sequencer?
This reminds me of the old like Polyend Sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sec 1. It's called Sec 1. Yeah, but it has a lot of. There's a breakout box 16 by 16. You can switch between them, and all the levels can be switched as well with the pattern. So you have an extra track for that, for switching the matrix. So it's like you have an EMS synth and can switch it by via sequencer. I think that is really, really strong.
It's pretty nifty.
This demo video looks a bit like
yeah.
The demo video looks a bit like it was like some kind of old computer game. like all these things. Like I don't see a lot of like musical patterns I would recognize.
It's very Tenori-like. I quite like a grid sequencer in that way. It's a very nice place to play. I imagine that's only a small part of what this is.
Yeah,
but I always like that.
It's it has
and
also
it has 16 tracks, but when you if you try to edit one track, it shows all events in the line, so you can see where is all my notes, even if it's 1 or 2 octaves beneath or something, even C minor, it doesn't matter. And they have a large display, and on the top you can see all these notes, and there's a little mark on top or below if there's any note hidden somewhere. I think that it's a good solution, maybe the best I've seen after the Hapax or Hapax.
But what Synthmill, our friends in the chat says, I think the big thing of this new of the Relic is it's an audio switcher, and the sequencer is just on top, but I think it's the matrix switcher is the big thing in this.
Absolutely.
That's what I tried to say. It has a breakout box, and it's also a powerful
patching system.
Switch box, yes, it's crazy.
With levels, both in and out. You can adjust them and automate them.
How much they want for it? 2,000? No, 1,000.
I think it's 1,800.
Okay.
So
$1 million.
it's not cheap, but it's really a big load of hardware. It's really big. It's bigger than a push or something in size.
And it's not light. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's
dense.
heavy. It's heavy.
Let's see what they are doing with firmware 2.0 or so. Maybe they will add a sound engine or so.
Yeah, it has no sound engine.
No.
It's just a sequencer. You have to tell the sequencer what kind of parameters you are controlling with it, like on all hardware sequencers. That's always a problem. That's why I really like Grooveboxes, because they already know what to control on the engine. But what was your choice?
Federico, is this something you should give a try?
I actually remember that they introduced that 3 or 4 years ago. They had a stand, and then they kind of not disappeared, but I think there was a long
No, it was 2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years.
And the guy that wrote me was super nice, and obviously having a hardware and with my style of things, it would be something. It is interesting, and I like the matrix. It's a bit of a big guy, and to me the having a very precise space in my studio and very little desk right now, that would have to be the brain of the studio. And the risk with this stuff is like, are we ready to use only one brain right now with all the possibilities, and fully commit to a new system like that? For me would be a bit complicated right now, but it seems like a very capable and interesting project for sure.
I must go in a moment, but the worth mentioning, I think the Polyend Mess, the pedal, it's a multi-effect
Effectrix
pedal with a sequencer built into it, and I think that's got a lot of potential. It's quite unusual in that it combines, the sequencer, and you've got 4 effect slots, and you can change the order of the effects, and then you can choose what effects happen on each of the sequencer steps. And you can also choose, if you hold the step, you can change the parameter lock the effects in the step. And it becomes interesting, especially when you put that into a pedal format. So it has the same format as the drum machine in a pedal that they've made, which I think maybe is a more niche product. I think it maybe makes more sense to have that as an effects unit. And Mitch, who was demonstrating it, had only put a microphone into it towards the end of the Superbooth presentations. But with a microphone, it's really easy to hear what happens with the effects on each step. But it's such a new kind of idea that the team...
For me, it's like Sugarbyte's Effectrix in hardware.
Yeah, good point.
That's for I say to them, hey Piotr, this is Sugarbyte's Effectrix in pedal, and Piotr, what? He doesn't know Sugarbytes or Effectrix or all these sequencer plugins.
I never heard. What is this software?
Sugarbyte's Effectrix 2.
Yeah.
It's quite old school, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's quite well. Yeah.
Well, it's cool, especially when you go live with your laptop. You can trigger some sequences as effects with the keyboard and stuff.
Or there's also Infiltrator and
Tornado as well. They did with interesting Sugarbyte stuff. But I've not thought about them for a while.
And I instantly thought, okay, this is the thing in hardware.
Okay,
but the thing is only, guess, how well are the algorithms? That's important in this thing.
Yeah.
If they are not that great, so the pedal is also not that interesting to me.
I'm not so sure, because even if the algorithms aren't as good as a single effect, a I played with it only a small amount of time, so I couldn't tell how good the algorithms. They have only just got it working, ready in time for Superbooth. So it's not, I think it's time for that to develop. But just being able to, the interface and being able to do what you can do, maybe if the algorithms aren't as good as a single pedal algorithm, because moving between things, kind of maybe you can get away with things not being as pristine as something that is more static. But we'll see. I think it's too early to judge the algorithms just because of where it is in the product development. But good to see it there. I thought, and I think Polyend always make very attractive.
But it's available already, I think,
Is it?
or next month now in June. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
There are some pretty crazy synths in the last years that now seem to get a real release and stuff. Also, the guys from Lambda synths are already ready to ship, I think.
Is it ready?
Lambda is the 4-operator FM Groovebox thing.
It's still in this military design, or this tankish.
They made 50 units, I think. You told me.
But there's also some new things.
But
maybe we can drop things.
But guys, I'm wrong. Was this year Superbooth very MIDI controller like? Very
there are controllers.
The Novation.
They did a good one. That's worth talking about. That is actually really, really good.
This one was also weird, but very special. Yeah.
6 D beams in a box.
And it's called what is it called? Q-Ray or Q-Ray. It has some special things to it because there you can calibrate it. You can move your hand and say this is the minimum and that's the maximum. You can.
Can you stop sharing your screen? Thank you.
I don't share anything.
Yeah,
it should be off.
Exactly. The Launch Control XL is
bestseller. Pretty sure this will be a big seller because I find it perfect. It's so much things are inside. They implemented that you can. One big thing for me is you can have in one template you can map hardware and software at the same time. You can route it in different ways and have 15 different templates, and you have MIDI out and MIDI through and merge. So they learned a lot on this device, and it feels good, and it feels very good.
Who developed it?
Novation.
Yeah, Novation, but who is behind it?
Who's the developer directly on this unit? Because most of the real good developers in the last years parted away. So.
But then the last launch keyboard MK4 were also great. They work well, and quality-wise, it feels pretty good. It's not super high quality, but it's solid, and for the price.
What was the price?
219 or so.
You see,
there we go. 200.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's cheap. But Novation, they're good. They're a great company, and they do get things right. I think they've got a lot of experience to draw upon, and I think this will. Yeah, I think you're right, Tom. I think this
sells a lot.
Massive hit.
Did you saw the Carl Velour Devices Carl?
No.
It was in the booth. It's I saw it already at Synthfest in 2024. But now they are in finished state. There was it in the 10th area. It's a big It's big black MIDI controller, and you have knobs on the display, and you can customize it with different templates, and you have these clicky buttons around the unit. It's a very premium MIDI controller.
Here it is.
People have been trying to do that for a decade, though. I mean, from any kind of Surface screen I've had in my sort of work with the Surface Pro, there's all sorts of things that come along where you've got sticky buttons that you can stick on top of the screen in order to turn things. Similarly with the iPad, I mean, it kind of brings along that idea. Isn't this the one that was wasn't it on a top-down projection that they did this last time, and it's now in this box? Is that right?
No, this is on the patent. They are not. It's a new technology, but it's shipping now in the next month, in the next few months. And they gave me a demo inside because the screen, because under the tent it was very, very bright. And they had issues with the screen because then, it's normal. If you are in the studio, it's not a problem at all. But it's expensive. It's €2,000.
I see. I always wonder about the customization of this sort of thing. It's the same when you've got modular MIDI controllers, little bits that you put together to create a MIDI controller, which feels like a really good idea, but it just doesn't. It always seems to fall apart because you're always having to fiddle with it before you get anywhere, as opposed to learning a row of knobs or a row of sliders on a regular MIDI controller, which is so easy and become very familiar.
It must be said that this device, the white one that you can see, are I think not right, because they are not clicky buttons. The version I saw now at Superbooth have white buttons, these clicky buttons, the old school, and it's standalone. So you can also create templates for synths. And endless templates. You're not limited to 15 like in the Innovation. There's tons of memory that you can store unlimited templates for and switch instantly between them.
Did any of you come across the dialer?
Yeah.
Because they claim that they have some kind of like AI going on for parameter assignment, which is always like a kind of a bold claim. But it looked rather solid. I've yet to come across a MIDI controller I actually like, and this looked pretty decent.
Do you think this is really, cool enough? Because it has 6x6 or 2x6.
If it's the right ones.
Yeah, do you think it's the right?
If it's the right one, if it's the right parameters, 6x6 is pretty okay. I mean, there are a lot of like digital mixing consoles that are a lot worse, like a lot worse.
But the layout of the knobs is a bit weird. You have big knobs, small knobs, medium knobs.
That actually makes sense if you have like because they were using a lot of like UAD plugins, and you usually have like input gain, output gain. You have like the dry wet thing, which is usually on the big ones, and then you have like all the other parameters on the small ones.
Is it standalone?
No, it's like you hook it up by a USB, and you let it like run through your plugin suite once, and then it kind of like
why not making it standalone for hardware as well?
Because they just didn't do it. I think it's just too small of a market. And you have no real standards when it comes to hardware, so it would be hard to find out automatically which parameters are like on the other side. You can find this out with plugins pretty easily, but you would have a hard time getting this right with some kind of synthesizer where you don't know which.
Afro AI is so intelligent.
Pardon me?
Afro AI is so intelligent.
No, I think it just knows what dry wet means and puts it on one, and knows what input gain means and puts it on the other. I think that's like the AI behind that, but I don't know. It's just like a guessing game.
Every knob's a cut-off knob, I think, is what it's going to get down to, isn't it?
And this should be one of the big ones, definitely.
Go AI, go and find out how to do a controller. Oh, everyone just uses cut-off. Let's just stick it on every knob.
Yeah, but I think that even my natural dumbness would be able to do this. I don't think we need AI for that.
I think I must have to say goodbye to everybody because I do need to go and eat, and I've kept
Don't go, Gas.
wife.
Stay.
I've been keeping my wife waiting
Usually you don't go home anyway. Why do you go now?
because I've
Really?
been away all week. So thank you everyone for letting me be on here. It's a real pleasure and great to see everybody at the booth. And please come to Bristol in September for Machina Bristronica. I mean, it's going to be really good. But yes, so goodbye, farewell.
Thanks for stopping by.
Ciao,
Cheers, guys. Take it
Thanks.
easy.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Normally, we do the show in 1 hour and 30 minutes, so we are a little bit over time today. But let's do one or two things more and then call it a day. But I think this is really great fun with you guys, so we definitely should
All
do
right, he's
this.
gone. He's gone. Let him go. There we go.
Yeah. Speaking of controllers, we have the Noid side.
I saw it. I saw it go by, and then it was the booth was always full of people. I couldn't see it, but I saw it from the far, and it looks really good. But
Yeah,
it's a
tried
premium
it.
controller.
It has something really interesting because you can. Do you see that little round display? There's buttons around it, and you can say yes. We morph from this to this. You can set a time, so it can sort of move from there, and then you have a certain time you can set. And then it moves, or it morphs, not it moves, it morphs from one to another snapshot, which means you can control everything like a DAW controller, but you can also automate just one knob or a group of knobs. And so it's good for live performing because you can, it's like an MX1 from Roland, but looks completely different. So that's what I thought about it when I had to.
Yeah,
had
and
it
it's
enhanced
also
it.
they implemented the saving of the snapshot in a very simple, straightforward way. And when it gave me a demo, I found like, okay, this is really cool because you quantize this scene launch. So it reminded me some sort of things that I could do with the Octatrack or stuff, but in a very simple way. And it's very interesting. It still have this sort of alien design, which I found this year was a lot of this gold, weird, exotic kind of
Make
design.
noise.
Yeah.
Make noise-ish. I like to go in a more clean way, but this felt really good. Also metal, solid, heavy. I think it's a great product.
I asked him for a sequencer for this thing because I have DJ Tech Tools MIDI Fighter Twister, and they have the same knobs. And you have on the MIDI Fighter Twister over USB the possibility to launch a sequencer where you can push the knobs and then you turn the velocity in, and this is pretty great. This works really good, and you have some really funny ways. And you also have the possibility with these knobs not just to push and turn. You have also the possibility to do a third way, and this is push and turn, and you can make really great stuff with this. So it's pretty nifty.
What is the price of? What they're asking for the price?
800-ish,
Okay.
800, I think so. 700 something. Yeah. Robin, is this something you could spend time with or your money on? Because I know you really like good control surfaces.
I do. Yeah, potentially. It all comes down to the feel, really. I mean, I think we put up with plenty of plastic stuff and just get on with it because it works in the moment. But having something which is a bit more premium is no bad thing. Are these the people who did the Kahuna, the spinning? Because that circle, that eye looks like that module that has the. It doesn't really matter, but no, it does look very nice. Looks very instruo actually for that.
Yeah.
In that case, which
That color scheme.
lends a level of premium to itself, I think, just by osmosis. But it's yeah, it looks all right. I mean, I'm not stunned by what it could offer in terms of MIDI control. You know, I could pull out any number of controllers that have enough sliders and enough knobs on it. It fascinates me that we're able to continuously reinvent the same thing over and over again, and yet that's okay. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing at all, or that we should only have one synthesizer each. But it's just interesting, particularly with MIDI control, in how the evolution is so slow. And every time I review another launch key or another M Audio keyboard or an Akai keyboard, they are just tiny iterations from the previous. You know, everything's gone curvy, or everything's gone straight, or it's got a different angle, or something else. Although throughout, I wish Novation would at least turn off. You know, give me a standby mode on this bloody thing. These lights are on all the time. So anyway,
everyone is raising something. This is the motor control, and I thought
nice.
it could be cool, but when they updated the firmware, I found this very interesting because it is showing you the name, and it's long enough. You can edit it, and it keeps all the settings in mind. It can, of course, it's motor, not faders. it's pots, encoders. Yeah, and what I really like is when you perform and you just have a hand on this special controller. Normally it feels default like this. It is just turning around. But when it's switched to something like selecting a waveform of, say, 6 waveforms, it really locks in then automatically, and you can toggle it that way. And I really like that is really flexible about that. Can control DAWs and stuff. And it is a sequencer that could be better. It is a very simple one, but you can automate all these, performance. No, it's movements, automation. And
If you put it in the tented, he showed me one few modality that also can trigger different CC with the same port, if I'm not wrong, and that was pretty fascinating too. I think for studio usage is a great. It's beautiful and like tactile wise, is never find anything as enticing like this one. Maybe I don't know if it would work as a live performance. Seems a lot of real estate for just 8. How many knobs are there? So I would put it definitely on my desk. Yes, I think it's a smart.
It's
one.
small. It fits onto or below a MacBook or something. But you all raised something, so you need to talk about that, not just me. This is really a
I spent more
vintage.
time. I spent more time with this thing than with like a lot of people I really liked. So this is we
It's
were
still
searching.
evolution, is it?
It is one of the evolution ones, and I worked a lot at a theater, and we were using like Ableton Live for like all the audio cues, And we were searching for MIDI controllers and spending huge amounts of money on MIDI controllers, and this was the only one that always worked.
Yeah.
So for example, we bought these like super high-end JL Cooper ones that were like massive amount of bucks, and they broke and didn't work, and so this was the only one that did the job all the time. So I have like a special like connection to that thing, but it's like I dropped it so often that a few of the faders are now not fully functional. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, but it had its time.
It definitely had its time. A friend of mine who's like the head of an audio department at a theater, he has like 4 at home for like bad times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to add to the controllers? No?
No. But I think we have to take a break.
2 hours.
Yes,
Torturing
exactly.
your
Normally we
ears.
do 1.5, and we.
Yeah.
Okay, it's too much fun to talk to you guys, to be honest. And Superbooth is complete overflow of information and people. So we didn't talk really much about the experience meeting everyone and stuff. But I think we
It's always the
should
best
do this
one.
again sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And a real big thank you to you guys
Thank you so
after
much.
this crazy weekend that you took the time. And a big shout out to our community. Thank you for visiting us and saying hello. So, exactly. As we say in German, haltet Steuerspannung.
Yeah.
This is our little crazy thing.
But
Steuerspannung.
yeah, we should. These stickers should be everywhere. So we this time we did this. So if you can find one, stick it to your car or anything you find. Yeah, I saw Florian. You had some also something where you put your beer on. So
Yeah, I did like I went all in with my beer mat / beer coasters, and I tried to
Yeah.
cover the entire city of Berlin with those things, and just like because we have it in big now, I ordered like thousands of them, and I like handed out all of them more or less.
Really?
Yeah,
I have them in stock.
yeah. Every person that came across my way had to take at least one of these.
It's pretty big to carry.
Yes, I was.
Not for
Fortunately,
one,
they
but
didn't.
if you take 100,
I was not sure whether they would weigh my luggage. This would have been a problem.
we thought about coffee mugs, but they are too expensive and too difficult to move around.
What I saw this year a lot, and this is a cool way. Maybe I try it also. I got a lot of little PCBs with logos on it.
Yeah.
And of course, Eurorack modules. They are so pretty ones, like those from Jolene and others. Again, Italian. They know things about how to design things. They are really pretty.
I think
Yeah,
next year I will have to buy some limoncello or something instead of the tunnel.
But now it's time to open the last round about things. The last words of everyone.
Okay. I thought, Robin, you're the first time on our show, definitely, and it's really, really great to have you here. A big thank you. Do you want to say anything?
How do you feel? How does it feel to treat you like you do?
Well, I'm honoured, obviously, and stunned. No, it's great to come on and talk about these things. It's it's an endless level and depth of fascination that we're never going to get to the bottom of. I don't think there's always more stuff to do. I mean, every time you're moving around Superbooth, people are saying, "So have you seen anything good? Seen anything good?" And of course, I mean, everything is good. I mean, obviously it depends on your perspective. I'm sure Florian has a different perspective. But from my perspective, everything just seems interesting, and you could stop at any booth and any stall and talk to some geezer for 10 minutes about his thing, and it would be interesting. Even if you didn't really listen to any word, you'd still have an element of connection and interest into some strange world that they're creating and putting out there creatively into the community. It's a place that's full of these sorts of ideas, of this overflowing of technology and overflowing of people trying to create and connect through the hidden masks of electrons and control voltage. It's a fascinating place, and yeah, it's an enjoyable place to spend time and to re-find your synthesizer smile, I think.
Mm-hmm.
People like the way you are and all those things behind you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Colin Firth with his shed. You know him?
Who? Sorry?
The YouTube guy who builds a tunnel underneath his house. I think he's also British.
Well, we do a lot of that, I think.
You mean Colin Firth? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, next.
Oh,
Yeah.
Federico. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's hard now
You are
to
the
look.
darkest this time. The darkest studio and making dark music.
It's after visiting Niels Fram's studio. So, he has this super moody place with just low lights, and I kind of want to be like him. So I try to keep things muted and dark. But yeah, I too have had a great experience, and the one thing that really surprised me, my wife was with me all of these 3 days, and I thought she's gonna hate it. She's gonna watch it, and she actually loved it. She had a great time, and this means that even if it's obviously a convention aimed at us nerds, they manage to create an experience that is open for everybody, understandable, and you can enjoy the instrument, you can enjoy the people, you can learn, you can watch, listen to music, meet a lot of artists. So it really doesn't feel to be working or to be at a convention, but it's just like a gathering of a bunch of beautifully weird people, and yeah, it's always like so fulfilling that yeah, I would advise everybody to come and try if you are interested in electronic music.
Exactly. It's like it's a festival more than a trade show nowadays. Bojan.
I totally agree with all you said. It is more like a festival. It is more or less a synthesizer utopia in a way. I talked to a YouTuber who's usually not so much into synthesizers, who's more into the pro audio gear, and he said that when he's going to NAMM, he needs to take bodyguards with him. And he doesn't need that at Superbooth at all. It's like all peaceful people. There is no conflict whatsoever that at least I never witnessed one. And the thing that is really fascinating is that everything else in that realm has like one after show party. There's usually 3 spread out over 20 kilometers, and you have serious FOMO to miss like the best one in a way. And it's usually like, okay, I haven't been there. I want to see that act for 10 years. And you can't have that anywhere else.
Exactly.
Absolutely true. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see that I didn't sleep much over the last 5 days.
No one did.
Yeah.
I think
me
no
too.
one
I did it. The biggest faux pas I did was editing at Wednesday night until 4 a.m. The first 2 videos, and it was completely ridiculous. So and then waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, not a good idea. So first day of the year and you
Same for you,
completely
Tom. Right.
Same for me.
So exactly.
I
Tom.
did also cutting, yeah, like you. To get the Moog video out, and it's not that super highlight of the.
We
Super
did
Booth.
not even talk about the
No.
Can I say a thing about the Behringer Messenger? Moog Messenger, sorry. Because it dropped like right before Superbooth, more or less. Like the whole like embargo lift thing, and all the YouTubers are releasing videos at the same time. And I did some.
We did a video, and that's really rare.
Yeah, and I locked myself in the YouTuber tent and did some research for like half an hour. And by start of Superbooth, I had enough hate to justify a Bad Gear episode. So I went up to the I went up to the Moog booth, and I tried to like get one, and because it will be very hard to get one like over the normal channels over the next like 2 months or so. So I get into the Moog booth, and there is some kind of like head honcho of marketing from the US approaching me and telling me that he likes the show, and I tell him that I don't know if you're interested, but I could already justify a Bad Gear episode. And I tried like wink, come on, give me a messenger, and he just didn't react at all.
and you know your source.
That's your problem.
I don't know where the muse came from.
Well, there's like one collective muse for like the entirety of West Vienna. So yeah.
It was extremely crowded in that booth. Anyway,
but they all
had
wanted to see
eight messengers around,
and they wanted to see Lisa Belladonna because she really ruled.
I met so many people just when she started playing. So
I can remember about last year when we saw the Muse with Federico, and she played. This was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She definitely know what she's doing with this machine.
And she played with the two messenger, because once asked in the comments before if she played with the messenger on stage on the last day on the stage. No, it was on the Strandbühne. No, not on the Strandbühne.
No, it was like on the main stage.
On the main stage, she played with, because someone asked if she played with the two messengers. Yeah,
I think she had 3 in case one breaks.
Fair enough. Okay.
I will never get a messenger from Moog, I know.
You have to everything.
Maybe it works. Just
working on it.
So, a big thank you to all of you. And
thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And please just open your mind for Gas's leaving. So he's
the spirit is
Gas as a guest. Gas as a guest.
I forgot to tell my summary of Superbooth, because you asked, but it's fine. I agree.
It's already straight, so
I agree with all the people's what they said. It's a great time for me, as usual. Time with speed, not with the gear. I would say how long we had 27 hours Superbooth, 9 hours a day. I probably lost 24 hours just with talking to people, and maybe 5 hours with gear.
It's really
more. Usual with Superbooth.
Dean,
and even more worse this year is that they added from 250 to 300 booths.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't talk at all, it's fine. You can manage every 300 booths. If you talk, it's impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not.
And I just one criticism. I hope that next year the security guys are better.
Yeah.
I thought this year they were
rough. There
I
was
think they
super
were
rough.
all. I think they
Yeah.
were all protecting Bo Beats. Is the only one that had bodyguards, right? It was-
No, but there was like a break. There was a break-in at the PWM booth,
Yeah.
like the last night.
Yeah.
They stole
really?
they emptied the whole tent.
Yeah.
Whoa! I
Like all the
didn't know that.
Kurzweils, all the PWMs, the
Oh.
whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
And Schneider got also picked his bag.
Oh
Okay.
wow!
Shit. Goddamn.
Damn, I didn't know.
Okay. And I got really lucky because I left my Osmo Pocket for several hours in the tent at the day, and no one took it away.
Yeah, the last day there was no guard after 5 on the YouTuber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
I
night.
noticed. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, crazy.
So we are sort of lucky because we had our stuff there.
Exactly. This is our booth, so to say, because we.
Big thank you for that.
Yeah.
The pickers were pretty wild this year because also Tamik, the friend from China, also lost everything. She got
Really?
picked, all the credit cards, the passport, everything.
Jesus, not the Buchla system, I hope.
No.
Ah, good.
No, I think that would have. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put our stuff next time in the media room. So
I had a deal with like the synthesizer museum guys to like I was allowed to drop my stuff there, which worked
No
out pretty
one
well.
would steal a Jupiter 8. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean this was heavily guarded.
okay, let's wrap it up.
Pleasure.
Thank you. We still need a fucking outro. So
We need so
Bye-bye.
many things.
Thank
ciao.
you.
Bye. And also, we do the live chat now after the talk. So if you are a supporter, take a visit on our site. The link is down below, and say hello to us and the guys if you like. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.